Welcome to day 9 of 12 Days of Christmas Horrors. I'm Mike with Real Lounge Entertainment, and today we bring you a very interesting one. It's called A Cadaver Christmas. And it almost could have been a cult classic, but doesn't quite get there, so let's talk about it. Before we get into it, make sure to give us a like, subscribe if you haven't, and let us know in the comments, do you want more zombie Christmas movies? So day 9 gives us A Cadaver Christmas. This movie is from 2011. It's not rated, has a runtime of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie follows a character only known as the Janitor, and he's a janitor at a local college. One day while working, the cadavers in school come to life and start attacking people. He escapes the college and goes to a local bar to clean up because he has blood all over him. This is where we find the rest of the people that are going to join the group. We have Eddie, the bartender, Tom, the local drunk, and Sam, the sheriff, who has a problem with the janitor throughout the whole entire movie. Now, the whole point of him entering this bar is so he can go in the bathroom and clean up. But when he comes out of the bathroom, it's like, besides like the little front of his face, he's still very, very messy. Does this guy know how to clean? Like, look at this. Yeah, terrible job, brother. Get back in there. After telling them the story of what happens in the college, they get attacked going in the parking lot. They get attacked by cadavers. So, as a group, they decided to go to the college and check it out for themselves. We also have somebody who was arrested in the cop car that's going to go along for the ride too. And this guy, he's a real pervert, and we'll see it later in the movie. At the college, they start fighting cadavers.
Cadavers.
We find out that Sam, the sheriff, isn't a cop anymore. He got fired or let go from his position after his partner, who turns out to be a K-9 unit, passed away during service, and he hasn't been able to mentally get over it. And this is his way of trying to get back onto the force by, solving some cases. Then that pervert I was talking about, he goes into his own room and finds like a very burnt up cadaver, and guess what he does with it? Yeah, that's what he does with it. How gross. Didn't need in this movie. He'll get his just desserts at the end of the movie. Eddie, who is really just like a normal dude in this movie, like for real, he just seems like a more normal dude and not even an actor. Like he's just here for the ride, which is fine for a movie of this type of budget. He gets bit by one, and eventually he becomes a zombie. Yes, there's zombies in this movie too. Zombies and cadavers, they're not the same thing apparently. I don't know the difference. Do you guys?
The hell are you talking
They're
about?
cadavers. You don't turn into one if you get bit.
You would if they were zombies.
They are not zombies.
But you don't know.
Then we get a backstory of a professor of the college who has created this virus, trying to like bring people back to life and keep them alive. Don't really need it. It goes on a little too long. But that's the explanation they give us. Throughout this whole movie, the cop and the janitor are just fighting with each other, both trying to lead the group in different ways. And it's a fight that, like, what's the sheriff's problem? We never get a real explanation of that. So it doesn't fully work for me, but it's okay because we're talking a really low budget. So it doesn't bug me that much, but I just didn't need it to go on so much. So then we start fighting more cadavers and now also zombies. And the whole point of them is to keep them at the college so they don't spread into the town and destroy everything that they know. So this is a very low budget movie. But while watching it, you can really tell that they're really trying to do something cool here and different and really put like their full foot forward, all their effort. So it sort of works, but it doesn't quite get to the level of like what they were going for. So close to being like a cult favorite movie. Like the writing is almost really good. It's like they wrote it for their own like humor and stuff like that. So to a mass audience, the humor kind of misses. It misses with me, but I definitely know what they were going for, and I definitely respect it for what it was. A lot of thought was really put in the script and into the characters. For example, there's 2 running jokes. One of them works for me and one of them doesn't. One of them is the janitor keeps calling 911, but it has to go to campus security first. So the whole point is like, why am I talking to campus security? I called 911. I need help right now. She's like, well, I decide if you really need help, and then we call the authorities. It's like, what if it was like emergency, like right now? And that happens a couple times, and then later that character comes and joins, and he's like, it's you. And the whole thing happens again. So that running joke works for me. It's pretty funny. However, there's a running joke throughout this whole entire movie, and they remind you every few minutes, and it just doesn't work. And that's it's a zombie. It's a cadaver. Yeah, he talks like that.
We've all seen them. They are zombies.
Cadavers.
And they say it so many times in this movie. By the end of the movie, I hate it anytime they said it. It's like, it didn't really work. I understand what you were trying to do, but maybe you guys should have like given that one a second thought. So one of the standout scenes of this movie for me is there's a character who's like humming a Christmas song, and then it slowly turns into like a rock version of that song. And at the same time, the janitor is starting to like get suited up. He's getting his like weapons, like his plunger and stuff, and getting ready for war. And this scene is good enough for this movie. It would have been epic in like a big budget film. I can just see it right now. So for me, that's one of the cooler scenes in the movie, and stuff like this is what makes this movie very watchable. Now, another scene I really liked, and this one's a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. It's like later on in the film, so just like warning, and that is the character Tom, who's like the drunk. He saves the janitor. The janitor gets knocked out, and he pulls him, and they're both leaning against the wall, and the janitor still is knocked out. And Tom is talking to him, and then he takes his fingers and starts moving the janitor's lips and starts talking as him. And he was like, "I just want to say I'm sorry." And he's like, "I accept your apology." So he makes the janitor apologize, and it goes on for a couple minutes, but it's pretty darn funny. But then later in the movie, the janitor actually is about to apologize to Tom, and he just goes like this, like onto the janitor's lips, and is like, "You already said everything you need to say." And that one actually made me laugh out loud. So good job on that one. This movie tries so hard, and you can tell the full effort is on the screen, and I really appreciate it. And it just doesn't fully work. Some of the acting is pretty good. The janitor character is very good for a low budget movie. Some of the other actors, it's like they just got their friends and stuff like that. And sadly, this is the way it is. But everyone did a serviceable job for the kind of movie we're talking about. But it's still kind of like a negative overall. The story is decent. The gore is decent. Everything in this movie is just okay when we're judging it for the standards of like such a low budget movie. If you're ranking it against like a big, huge production that costs like $20 million, yeah, we could destroy it, but we're not going to do that because they didn't have that. So I want to be fair, and I like to judge these type of movies that aren't A Nightmare on 34th Street appropriately and give them a real chance to shine in a certain way. If they just could have had like a single writer go through this, polish it up a little bit, straighten out some stuff, given this movie like a $10 million budget and some like real actors, like I could have seen if this was an 80s or 90s movie, Bruce Campbell would have been a perfect cast. I mean, there's even an Evil Dead poster somewhere in this movie, so I think the people who made this were probably pretty big fans, and you can definitely see how it inspired this movie. If you just did those things, I think it could have been like a really, not like super big movie, but a successful movie, or at least a cult classic that would still be loved today. I can only give this movie 2 cadavers, I said it, out of 5. But that still being said, I actually recommend you watching this movie. When people put so much effort into it, and movies are very hard to make, they deserve to be watched. And this one, they tried really hard. You can get some humor out of it. You can get some enjoyment. It's way better than a whole bunch of these movies that I already watched this year, trust me. I definitely recommend giving this one a shot. They deserve it. Thanks for watching Day 9 of 12 Days of Christmas Horrors. Make sure to join us for Day 10 when we get invited to an old-fashioned family Christmas dinner.